Okay, what we have here is the SRC Tokarev. It's the TT33. It's an old Russian service pistol built back in 1933. It was the Russian Army's mainstay right through World War II. And it came after the TT30, I believe. Now, the thing to note about this one is, it's airsoft, which is a rarity. We don't usually see them. There are two main offerings available. There's a KWA offering, and then there's the SRC, okay? Now, SRC, having thought to myself, I need to get some World War II weaponry, I'll get the MP40 because I do reenactment. Now, the MP40 I have is an SRC MP40, and I was impressed. I got that from Airsoft World, and I haven't looked back. I've been using it a lot. I've even skirmished in my actual getup for it, so it looks brilliant, it feels brilliant, and you know, the usual SRC quality has transferred over to the Tokarev. There's no need to worry about build quality on this gun. Now, having said that, the KWA, a lot of people have been saying, oh, KWA, better company, it'll be better engineered. Hey, you don't know what you're talking about. KWA have got a plastic outer barrel on theirs, they've got a weird trigger safety, and it's just this horrible finish on it as well. It looks like it's gloss matte. It's just, matte is the correct colour for this, not gloss. In real life they're blued, but you can't have everything. And this thing, if you want to, you could age it really nicely. Now, I'm not going to with mine because it's a limited edition. Now, you'll see the red case there, that's a limited edition case. Now I'm going to move in front of the camera, it's going to be a bit of a shadow, so bear with. Right, what we have here is the limited edition case. You've got your nice SRC 33, and then you've got this. Now this sticker is more useful than any other sticker I've ever seen on a box. Make sure you press the magazine release button when you insert the magazine. That is a very useful sticker and you should take note of it. Okay, if you fail to do that, you will break the internal part of the magazine release. The mag catch will get buggered if you do not press it. Okay? Now, picking up the gun, first thing you'll notice is the trades. Right there, Cyrillic alphabet, 0315 2012, with a star in the middle. That is an actual engraved trademark, which symbolises I've got the 315 out of 600 available, and it was built in 2012. The grips, they are black plastic, they're nicely textured, they are very similar to the real thing. It's got the CCCP stamp on there. You'll notice upon turning it round, you've got more Cyrillic here, and I don't actually read Cyrillic, so I can't tell you what it says, but I'm sure it could be translated. That there, that's your takedown, we'll come to that in a minute. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm missing a piece of my thumbnail, because I just literally figured out a minute ago how to take this thing apart. Now, it's not like a 1911, but it's fairly similar. The overall weight of the gun, really, you know, very nice. Racking the slide, also very nice. Trigger pull, quite stiff, okay? Really stiff. I'm not sure if that'll wear in or if it'll just change and get used to that. The magazine, also good quality. For those of you who are familiar with the WE 1911, it's the same style of loading mechanism, okay? You can push it down, you can lock the follower, and then you can pop the rounds in. Now, it's worth noting the magazine is single stack, and you're only going to get about 11 rounds out of it. Okay? Now, holding the magazine release in, as I put the magazine in, give this nice locking in, alright? Now, to adjust the hop up, you are supplied with a small Allen wrench, or Allen key. Now, there's a very small opening just above where the nozzle feed seats and the actual ejection port there is a small Allen headed, well, grub screw. Now you twist it clockwise and it will increase the amount of hop you've got, anti-clockwise and you're going to decrease the hop. I have test fired it. It's capable of actually hopping a 0.3. It will curve it upward, so the hop, no complaints there, very effective, and from what I've seen after a few rounds, quite consistent. Sights, extremely strange. Very, very, very weird. Don't know if you can tell, but they're very high profile at the back. Now when I aim the weapon, I'm tempted to aim downward like this because I'm used to a 1911. You have to aim up a little bit with this almost. But even so, you know, it's comfortable. It's a very nice looking gun. The other thing which really struck me is it's very light for a full metal pistol. It's extremely lightweight. It's not going to be a hassle carrying this around all day. It doesn't weigh much. I will get the scales out later and I'll weigh it and I'll put them in the description. But it's similar in terms of weight to something like, I don't know, a Tokyo Marui 1911 with a fully loaded mag is about what this is. It really doesn't weigh very much for a metal gun, but the metal, the quality used, is excellent. It is not pot metal, it is good quality metal. Also on the weapon you have got your lanyard ring there, and that I believe will easily take the weight of the gun, no trouble, okay? So that's functional if you really want to use it. Overall, the presentation of the weapon in the box is excellent. I will move the gun out of the way just a second and we can take a look. You get this lovely little limited edition badge, CCCP type badge with the SRC logo on it, a hammer and sickle, and of course the Soviet star, which is very nice. Nice little touch there, I quite like that. You've also got the manual. Now, this manual, it must be noted, doesn't tell you how to take the weapon apart. You've got to use common sense. Now, this side here is all in Cyrillic. Like I said, I don't read Cyrillic, so I'm going to leave that untouched. Safety information here. General SRC blurb. Of course, in the background you've got a lovely CCCP, and you've got the whole sort of proper Russian artwork style thing with the whole industry factory pages down here, that sort of stuff. Just the classic sort of Russian stereotype. You almost expect there to be a bottle of vodka and a woman who looks like an onion staring at you off the page, but there isn't. So we won't go into that. Now, when I say onion, I'm sorry. Russian women, there's a stereotype. You're one or the other. You're either a beauty queen or an onion. Not all of you are onions. If you're a Russian woman and you're watching this, I apologize. We are English. We're very racist and we're extremely stereotypical. So, SR33 parts description. It's got muzzle, label, front sight, slide stop, etc. Nowhere does it say takedown lever. It does not actually say anything about the dismantling of the weapon. It doesn't say it anywhere. It does, however, tell you how to load it, and it does tell you about pushing in the magazine release, which is good because you don't want to break that. Okay, tells you how to load the magazines, tells you how to load your bullets into the weapon, and it also tells you how to operate the weapon in the usual way, the basics of how you'd use a semi-automatic handgun and the hop-up adjustment. You have also got a schematic for it. Okay, now basically it just shows you an exploded parts diagram, and it also does that if you're technically minded like myself, and like a lot of the airsoft community is, you'll be able to take it apart and mess around with it. It tells you where all the seals are, where all the pins are. The magazine, very simple construction, and it gives you actual parts lists, which is very good. Okay, that's useful if you're quoting over the phone to somebody, I've got such and such a part which has gone wrong. You know, you don't have to describe it, you've got the number right there, the chart and the actual name of it, which is excellent. They do that for the lower receiver as well, and for just the general gun. And it even gives you, you know, details on where you can get them. So, great. Star Rainbow Co. SRC. Done yourself proud there of that manual. Not too bad. Okay, because of the way the sun enters the room, I'm going to try to keep my shadow off of the weapon so you can actually see this, but this is actually how you take it apart. Now, this is going to be useful for you because when it comes out the box, metal on metal, the friction it's going to actually create is going to wreck the weapon. Okay, you do not want that. Now, thing to note is, with this gun, magazine out, the easy part of it, okay, really easy part, I can't stress how easy this take is, alright? You don't even need to have a weapon cocked, so you don't have to worry about it. It's not like a 1911. You simply turn the weapon over, you see that there, you just pull back on it, alright? Pull back on that metal tab and push with this little bit on the end here, and it should just, there we go. It's a bit stiff because, well, A, it's new, and B, well, that's just a really tough piece of metal. You wouldn't want to mess with that. Okay, once you've done that, that's all you do. You tap it, and goodbye release lever. Then after that, it's a simple, straightforward, well, it should be a simple, straightforward. If you're having trouble, cock the hammer, and that'll obviously bring down anything you need to run down. There we go. Well, really, what more can I say? It's very simple to take apart. Now I'm going to lubricate mine, and I'm going to do what I need to do to it to keep it nice and functioning. And in there you'll be able to see the mag catch actually, the way it seats. You'll see why if you don't push the mag release button. As you insert your magazine, it juts out. Now I can imagine if you did that with some force, like a lot of people have a tendency to do, just mash the magazine into the bottom of the weapon, yeah, you would probably break the entire magazine release system. So it's very important you actually press on that, okay? Press the magazine release button as you put the mag in, otherwise you are going to be in a whole world of trouble. Now after that, it's the usual sort of GBB affair, taking out how you would imagine a GBB to be taken apart. Now I'm not going to do that to mine, I'm just going to go and clean it and lubricate it. But you know, you should know how to do that already, so I'm probably not going to include that in the video. But I will put up a bit of firing at the end of this video. Okay. Now paint wear extremely fast on this gun. I'm already missing a small amount of paint, but to be fair, I don't mind. It's a Tokarev. They are going to be worn, they are going to be used, they are going to be abused. Now you can see a little bit of paint there, just from, you know, me touching the internals. Okay. Now that paint's going to be, how do I put this, a gacky pain in the ass. So definitely going to need to lubricate this. Definitely needed. But whilst the weapon is sat there in all its glory, if you will, let's go talk about the performance of the weapon. Now, feet per second, you're looking at a good 290 feet per second, I would have thought, from this. It's really, you know, good. It's got quite a punch to it. The recoil on it, though, I would say it's quite strong, but it's slow. It's a sluggish recoil, and one of the main things that bugs me about this gun is how heavy the trigger pull is. It is very heavy. I thought the safety was engaged the first time I actually went to fire it. Now, this weapon doesn't actually have a safety catch that I'm aware of, or at least, you know, not that I've yet discovered. But then again, I've only had it for a couple of hours, so I wouldn't really know. I've put a couple of magazines for it, and it's, you know, flawless. It's functioned very well indeed, and I'd have to say it works nicely. Groupings are very good, actually. The accuracy is excellent. I would say, you know, on a par with some of my Tokyo Maori stuff that I've had in the past. It's a very accurate pistol, and it's very quiet too. It's not that loud on 134A. Of course, you put propane in it, obviously that raises the noise a little bit. I would say it's up there with Tokyo Maori stuff, how loud it is, how accurate it is, and it's got a nice feel to it. When it cycles, it's quite, you know, interesting. It's not like anything I've fired before in terms of an airsoft pistol. I think it's the unusual angle of the grip, the unusual, well, the ergonomics of the weapon, and the way it just looks and feels. It looks and feels really very well made, and it's a very nice piece of equipment. It's extremely pointable. Now, for practical, I don't know. For practical purposes, I'm not going to be skirmishing mine at all because, well, you know, collector's edition, I don't want to wreck it. I want to keep this and use it in the garden on a sunny day. That's all I want from it. That's the only reason I bought it. If I want to skirmish, I've got my SIG and a Serpa holster, and I can just whack magazines into that and just, you know, go for it. But this is more of a fine, it's more of a fine, how do I put this? If you had a bottle of wine, it's a fine bottle, you want to keep it and mature it, this is probably that. This is what it is. Your skirmishing gun, that's a nice big cider, you're just going to drink it right on the spot. And then of course you got your AEG, which is your mainstay. Well, that's your crate of beer, so, you know, by all means drink that. But this is one to put away. I think overall I'd give this weapon a 9 out of 10. The only reason it's a 9 is because I wouldn't want to bother using it, because it's just so nice. I don't want to wreck this, you know, it's too nice. It's nicely presented, the format of the weapon great, the controls very nice, it's very easy to work it out. The only thing I would say is a real con, possibly there are two, three in fact. One, how stiff the damn trigger is. It's extremely stiff, but, you know, like I said, I've only put 3 magazines for it. I'm sure it's going to wear in, and the fact they don't supply it lubricated already and you're going to have to do that yourself, that's a pain in the ass. A small gripe would be this takedown mechanism. It's extremely hard to do, and as a result I'm now missing a piece of my thumbnail, but apart from that, you know, my bad, I should have used a flathead screwdriver. I will say also, when it comes to putting it back on, that you should push it down over the top. That's going to be a lot easier than pushing it forward. And apart from that, the only other gripe with it is they don't tell you how to take it apart in the manual. So really, these are very minor gripes. Usually it's, oh, this thing's a piece of crap, oh, it's a pain in the ass, when I've got a gripe or something, because I'm actually a very honest person. I don't go out and say, this is bad when it's not. I don't say this is great when it isn't. Gas efficiency is great, range is pretty good, accuracy very good, and the way it works is flawless. So I would say go and get one. I'll put up a shooting video and I'll put up some pictures, and I'll go one better, I'll even do some slow motion. So yeah, thank you Airsoft World for supplying me with a gun. That's great, I'm looking forward to it.